But one day, the radio station opened, and I will never forget that day. It was in the summertime, and everybody, the buzz in town was, hey, the radio station is going to go on the air this certain day for a couple hours, 2 hours, from maybe 1 o'clock to 3. And so everybody went and bought radios. We had radios, but the only radio station that we could listen to was KNOM in Nome and the Alaska Forces Radio Network. And it had to be a pretty powerful radio to pick those up. But anyway, that one summer day, everybody tuned in. Even I was at home, and I turned my radio to 640. I put it on to 640, and you can hear nothing but static for the longest time. I think, and one time I went out after I was waiting for the radio station to turn on. I went out and I looked, and there was nobody around. Everybody was at home waiting for the radio station to turn on. And so I went back in the house, and I was sitting there fiddling around with the radio, and pretty soon, sure enough, there it turned on. They had no, it was just a test, was what it was. And George Charles, he was doing the DJ. He was talking on the radio a little bit. He said, well, we're trying out the new radio station. He played the most boring music I could ever hear, and it was jazz. And who likes jazz? Yupiks don't like jazz. They hate that music. They'd rather hear either country music or religious tunes. And he didn't play those. He played jazz. It was just boring, but it was just fun. Everybody was listening to the radio for 2 hours. Then after that, it stayed on longer and longer. And finally, they decided, well, we want some Yupik news. We want some news read, English news and radio news. And so they decided, well, they're going to have maybe 15 minutes of English news and 15 minutes of Yupik news, but we need somebody to Yupik news. Well, the Chief Eddie Hoffman came over to my grandmother's house, and he said, hey, John, you speak Yupik? I said, yeah. He said, well, and you know how to tell stories? I said, yeah, for my grandma. He said, why don't you go and work at KYUK? Go do the Yupik news. Read the news. You read English. You're bilingual. You understand English. You can translate. I said, well, I'll go try.